Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 4, I believe it is. Gonna put a few different tutorial videos out on the this week's video tutorials. In this app, we're just gonna create a basic app using buttons and different random generations and so forth. So this is just a tutorial of how to create some things in Android Studio, and just to kind of help out with this week's exercises, as we'll create a few different apps. Let's see, we'll call this one, let's see, what do we want to call this? Sports, this one's going to be about sports games. Call it sports fields. And let's see here, what do I want to call it? Let's do a new folder. I should call it random stadiums. That's a better word, random stadiums. Okay. All right, and we will call this random stadiums. Hit next. Hit next. Blank activity. Finish. All right, so hopefully you can see most of the screen here. I guess when I set this up, it wasn't perfect. All right, let's see here. Let's go down to maybe a little smaller so you can see that design. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get rid of hello world. We need a button, so let's get a large button here. Well, a button. I'll put it somewhere on the screen. So what we need to do is go over, we have the button here for now. We're going to go over to values, strings. We're going to add this string value in here. Now there's different ways of doing this. There's I believe you could right click and do it if you open translations editor, you could add the key value in here as well and do it this way. This is one way of doing it. But I just go in here and just type it in. So as you know, there's two different ways of doing it. You could do it one way, or you could do another way. So I'll call it button title. We'll call it a random stadium. Okay. And let's close out of that and save that. All right. Now we'll go into the XML here, and let's see here. We want to remove that so we don't have any value to that, and we will want to grab the string. So as you see here, I start typing in string button title because that's the string that we have over that we just set up. And now if we go over here, it has random stadium. So that's what we want in that section. So now we're going to need a text view, because what we want to do here is we want the user to select random stadium, and we want to have a text display down here. So let's do large text. Just throw it down here. Let's move that over a little bit. All right, so what we want to do basically ultimately is we want the user to select random stadium, and then a random stadium will select. So for example, PNC Park, Heinz Field, Fenway, etc. So we'll do different, it'll either be a park or a football stadium, whatever the case is. So that's what we'll do. So let's see what we need to do here. We need to get that set up over in strings as well. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to remove the text, because we don't want it just to say text. So if we go into text, we'll just delete that out. We need ID views. So we'll call this ID, and we'll change button title ID up here as well. All right, so as we type here, so we have button ID, so we need to change this ID right here to button ID. All right, so I changed that to ID. We want to have some type of ID in there, and as you see here, this changed because we changed that to button ID. All right, so that will be fine. We have button ID, we have text view ID, String. Okay, so that right there is fine. So as you see here, what we want to do is we have this up here calling that string over here, which is button title, and that's fine. But over here we have this blank only because we're going to have another way of populating that data through our programming code. So we don't want to populate that with a string value at this point. Right now it's blank, that's fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our main activity. Let's go up here at the top. So what we need to do is we need to declare some private instant variables that we're going to use in our program. It's going to be in our main class, so it's going to be up here, and we're going to type in private. We need a button, we'll call it show me button. I guess it's a good way. All right, and then we'll do private. Remember, these are just instant variables that we could use. Text view, and we'll call this show text view. All right, so we got, we got that set up. We need to remove some of this information here. So we could probably delete this here. This is just in there that we're not going to use that information. I guess I should have mentioned that first. Delete that. Now we're going to set up button views. So what we'll do is we'll take our button, show me button. As you see when I type it in, it comes up here. Show me button equals, we'll do button. As you see, everything is IntelliSense. And then we'll do a find view ID. As you see, it's popping up already. Do R for resource dot ID dot button ID. See, it already populates that information. All right, then we end that. Now we need one for our show text. So as you see, it comes up. This is what's nice. Now, just to kind of point this out here, you see where it has a line through. It just means that in the new, in this version of source code, that means that call has been obsolete. So it's no longer able to be used. Maybe it was able to be used before. So we'll do text view. All right, and then we'll do find view ID or ID dot, what we're going to call it, text view ID. All right. So now this right here is just setting up our button view. So we declared our values up here, our variables. We're saying that the show me button equals a button, and we're trying to find the ID. So what's, you notice here, it's just finding the ID over on this page right here. So we have this guy as a button ID, and we have this guy as a text view ID. So it's able to correlate between the Java code and the XML code, which is the front layer of the app. So that is good. So that part is what we need. Next thing is, this is a little tricky part, is we're going to do show me button, and we're going to do dot. So what we need to do is, let me just add this here. We need Onclicklistener. So most of us have heard of an Onclicklistener. So basically what it is it's an action event. So and anytime that a button is clicked, an event has to occur. So in order for an event to occur, it needs to go somewhere. So for example, let's say that you're logging into Facebook, right? Majority of people have Facebook or Twitter. You log in, you enter your username and password, and you click the login button. Well, it has to have an action event to do. So it needs to call something in order to go somewhere. So it needs to maybe run through an encryption, decrypt, contact a database, web service, whatever the case is, to see what has to happen next. So in this case, we need something like that for our editor. So if we go back over to here and go over to design, when they click that button, something needs to happen. So let's do show me button dot set on click listener. As you see, it populates it, and then we're going to do new view, and then we're going to do dot. And as you see here, Onclicklistener comes up. We want to make sure that you see how it adds this extra parentheses. We want to remove that because that's going to cause a problem. Let's see here. We want. I got it wrong. Let's see, not this way. All right. Sorry. All right. This is my site. All right. So we have that right there, but it's not completed yet. So we need to have. Let's see here. Something's wrong. Let's see here. We don't need that because we're not done yet. There we go. And then we have one of them, and we need a closed parentheses to close that bracket because it opens up here and we need to close it. So as you see there, we have the open bracket and the close bracket. We need to close the statement. So now what we need to do is we need to add some more code in here. So what we need to do is right click here and click generate. And in this case, we want to do an override method. All right, and as you see here, hopefully you can see this information came up. We're going to choose this because it's our Onclicklistener. Click OK. Excellent. All right, I'm back. I had to compile a list of stadiums before I start talking, so I have an idea what to add. So what we need to do is we need to build an array of stadium information. So let's do final string. Hopefully we've worked on arrays before in probably either CIT 130 or CIT 111. But if you haven't, just let me know. We'll call it stadiums, and we'll do equals, do the bracket, and what we'll do is in quotation marks, we'll do PNC Park, comma, we'll do, we got to do the Pittsburgh thing, Hunting's Field, comma, console energy. I think I got that spelled right. Let's see here. We'll do. Let's see here. Wrigley Field. We'll just say Wrigley. Fenway. Awesome place to visit. Let's see here. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need at least 8. We have Fenway. We have Wrigley. Trying to think. Soldier Field. Soldier Field. Let's go back and change that. Field. See, so we have PNC Park 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Geez, what else can we have? Oh, we have the new stadium, Levi Stadium. And last but not least, let's say, geez, man, what can I call it? Levi Stadium. I'm trying to think. Paul Brown Stadium. All right, took me a while to think about that. All right, so I hit that, hit return. So now we have our string set up for our value. So now what we need to do is we need to create, let's see here, so we have the show me button. All right, so now what we need to do is choose some random code. So what we're gonna do is before I do this, we have to go out here. What I want to do is we want to use random, which is a Java thing. And before I do that, I need to make sure I have the library, which I don't think I'm going to have the library. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to import java.ut. Because the thing is I need to use a random and it's not available if I don't type it in. So let's do random. As you see here, let me stop for a second. As I start typing in random, you see it's going to pick up that library. That's the library I want to use. So I'll do random. I'll call it rand equals new random. So we're doing new instance of the object. We'll use an integer. We'll call it random num. Can't even spell. Equals rand, which is that object that we're going to use. We're going to do next int, because we want to do the next integer. What we want to do is we want to grab the stadiums, that array up there, do stadiums dot length. And what we're interested in doing here is, see, we want to grab the length. So every time that the button's clicked, they do the Onclicklistener, comes down here, uses this random variable type. This is let's see here, sorry. It says int random number, which is a number, equals rand.nextInt stadium's length. So what it's going to do is it's going to, if I can move over here, it's going to do the length of the stadium. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so there's 8 stadiums that we selected. So if we did 7, it'd be 7, 9, whatever. But in our case, the length is 8. It's going to go and see how many it has after a comma, and that's how it's going to decide whether that number is right or not. So the last thing to do here is, because we have that information there, it's going to pick up the random number. Now we need to be able to show it in a text view. So if you remember, go over here real quick. All right. So we have that blank, and in the text it's blank, so we don't have a value. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a value from here and pull it over on that screen. So we're going to do show text view, and we're going to do dot set text, as you see there. And what we're going to set it to, we're going to choose our final value up there, because we can use it anywhere in the screen. We're going to do stadiums, and we're going to do, I think we need a bracket here. And we need, in our array, we need random num, because we want it to be random at any time. And I think that'll be it right there. That should work, because now show text view is going to do set text stadiums. It's going to come up here and grab our array, and it's going to come down here and use that random number. So what's going to happen is, let's say that it picks random number 3. Then our answer is console energy. If it does number 4, it's Wrigley Field. 5 is Fenway Park. So what it does is it grabs an integer value, sets that value, and says, hey, number 6 equals what? Number 7 equals what? And that's kind of how it works. So let's see if this actually works. So let's see if we can run. I'll have to move my emulator a little bit. I'll let the emulator catch up, and I'll start this back up. All right, we're back. As you see here, we have the emulator up. So we have random stadium. Click on it. All right, so it obviously picked number 3. Console energy picked number 4, Fenway Park. 5, which was Soldier Field, I think. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, actually it was 6. So as you see, it's randomly selecting Fenway Park again. Levi Stadium, Console Energy, Fenway Park, so forth. So you get the idea. Oh, we finally get PNC and Paul Brown Stadium. So you get the idea how that randomly works. So imagine if you're using this for something else. Let's say that you have a guessing game and you want to create a guessing game. Pretty simple. You might have a text box here, have the user input a number, say it's a guessing game, and you had to pick what am I thinking, something like that. They input something, and you hit the random select, and it selects something. So very interesting things that you could do with this. Just let your mind wander and just think about it. So if you have any questions, let me know. But this is video number 1 for week number 4. Thank you for your patience of watching this video.